Here we have Pirate Journal number 2. The cover is almost identical to the first one. The spine is covered the same, eyelash trim. The little beads and baubles are different, however. The key is the same, but this one, there was a big one on the other one, and this is different. We do have an anchor, but it's done a little bit differently. The back is almost identical. But everything else is, again, similar but not the same. So you might recognize this picture, but even this first pocket is different right off the bat. So we have some tiny little tucks in here, with this pocket made from an old book page. The other half of the beach scene that was in the first journal, I'm not sure if you remember, but so this is the other half of that calendar page, that was in there. And we do on this one have a small book, but it is different. This one flips up. The other one opened more like an actual book. I think I glued that down. So that's a bit different. The other one had a gold feather. This one has a silver feather. Most of the die cuts are actually different, believe it or not. Journaling tucks. These are actually not the same. I tried to divide them up, and if it's a card like this, it might be the same, but otherwise, they're probably not exactly the same. So in the other book, you remember I had a nice little map page, and so I did do that on this one. I did them differently, obviously, because the Easter egg die would come out different on every single page. So this design is a bit different. This does say treasure on it, though. And we have our journaling tucks. Now this person that is the recipient, she, of this book, I know that these do not go with a pirate theme, but she saw me make these and she wanted them. So of course I wanted to oblige. So they're going to go on this page here, and then we'll cover them with some ephemera. So that'll be a nice little surprise for her, and that should be pretty fun. So we do have another, what do we call that? Burlap, another burlap pocket, but the background here is different. And this was a true writing about the pirates on the Chesapeake. So I thought that was really cool to add in. And then some coffee dyed paper. This is another little historical piece about pirates. So I made that into the journaling tuck, and then of course some Easter egg dyed paper. So this page over here is completely different, and just kind of looks old, and you know, the proper era, I hope, anyway. It looks like it to me though, so that's a nice little journaling spot there. This page is completely different also. Nice journaling here on some Easter egg dyed paper. The other one had the postcard to pull out and journal on. Well, this one I just tore it and put it on the page. I wanted to do something different. And inside, this book only has the one big pocket. And again, you might have seen this on my Craft Your Scraps, how I created it. If not, you could look that up just to see how I made this little book. And I used all scraps for it. And it's just a nice little journaling book, and I drew lines on it so it could be written in. This was a lot of fun to make these two tiny little journaling books. This is an original page from the book, and so I didn't want to cover it because it was kind of cool. So I put a little bit of yellow marker here just to give it a little bit of a highlight, but I wanted to allow that to be what it is. This is a page from the original book that I took out but then turned it into a pocket. Now in this one, I made this really cool side pocket. You can see it here. And I used some duct tape here, and I believe on the edge, even though I covered it with paper. And then I added my lace trim, and inside are lots of nice journaling tucks. This has some writing in it from someone when they were very young. And I just thought it would be kind of fun to put in to this journal. The recipient of this one, I believe, will really appreciate that. This right here, I just did that with some bronze paint, and I just painted it real quick. This too was a Craft Your Scraps item, and I just thought that the colors went really well together, so I threw it in here. We have another one of our wanted signs. I just think that's a great thing to have. And I left the back cover plain. And I figured that the recipient, if they wanted to, could add, they could add their own thing if they wanted to. So there it is. There's our pirate book. Thanks for watching. See you soon.